cross-culture, Christian culture and medieval Armenian medieval culture. So that's that's the meaning of these frescoes. Three cultures of Armenia. Let's go upstairs.
The Madenataran is an institute of scientific research on ancient manuscripts. At the same time, it is one of the oldest and richest book depositories of the world. Here are gathered about 70,000 manuscripts, which are kept downstairs in the book depositories under special conditions, and only 1% is exposed in this hall. Now, a few words about the Armenian alphabet. This is the Armenian alphabet. In 405, Mesrov Mashtots created the Armenian alphabet, and it consisted of 36 letters. And now we use these letters with no changes. Only 3 letters, Yev, O, F, were added in the 10th century. What is of interest to tell you about the Armenian alphabet is that Armenian letters were used as numbers up to the 16th century. For example, A was used for number 1, B, 2, G, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The second line were the numbers of 10, 20, 30, 40, the third line hundreds, and the fourth line thousands. Have you noticed when entering the building Madenataran, on the floor is written R, J, F, E. Have you noticed that? No? Okay, when you will be leaving, please pay attention to the floor, okay? And what do you think what it means? R is 1000, yeah? J is 900, yeah? F, 50, and E, 7. 1957. This is the date when the building Madenataran was built, and the architect was Mark Grigorian. From the 5th up to the 9th centuries, only separate fragments from the manuscripts have been preserved. We have no complete manuscripts from these centuries, only 1 page or 2 pages, about 3,000 fragments. For example, here you can see a petrified manuscript. This manuscript was kept in a cave, and because of humidity, throughout centuries it became petrified, and now it is impossible to read. Armenian manuscripts were written on parchment. Do you know what parchment is made of? No, it is made of the skin of an animal skin, of a lamb. For example, here you can see 5th century fragment manuscript from the Gospel, 9th century fragment manuscript, and here you can see Madenataran Gospel. Madenataran Gospel is a double manuscript. That is to say, you see this text? It was written in the 5th century on the 5th century parchment, but this one, the colored one, was written in the 10th century on top of it. As far as in the 10th century, we had not enough parchment to write on, so they had to take the old ones to erase the information in order to write a new one. But the traces of the 5th century are still here. And here you can see the oldest Armenian paper manuscript. This paper was brought to Armenia by Arabs in the 10th century. Yes, Arabs. And it contains historical and philosophical information. And when Armenian manuscripts were getting older with the time, and it was impossible to read them, in order to preserve the information about the Armenian history, culture, Armenian scribes began to copy the manuscripts. Please here. Century professional scribe Hovannes Mangasaret copied about 132 manuscripts in his life, and when he was copying this manuscript, he got blind and was not able to continue. And all his pupils in Armenia continued writing this manuscript. These are homilies. Do you know what homilies mean? Homilies. These are sermons, speeches for churches. And he was the first to write the nation history in chronology, starting from mythological times up to the 5th century AD. And he wrote a history of about 15 centuries. And he said that there is no exact total. His work, The Categories, was first translated into Armenian in the 6th century. Eusebius of Caesarea, his work was translated into Armenian in the 5th century. The history of Alexander the Great was translated into Armenian in the 5th century, and many other translations which have the value of originals. That is to say, Greek originals of these works are lost, and the world knows about these works through Armenian translation. first sentence, which was translated into Armenian, and I will say it in English. Then, if you want it Armenian. Yeah, to know wisdom and intelligence, to perceive words of understanding. In Armenian, and here you can see the teaching in the medieval primary school. This is the teacher with a stick in his hand for punishing. This is the pupil who's at